Good day, lovely viewers. It's your host once again on MEGGT. I go by the name Winifred a representative of Miss Excellence Grand Ghana. Kindly stay tuned to your televisions as I present to you about the Ethiopians as part of our weekly project. Thank you. Africa is the world's second largest and second most populous continent after Asia in both cases. At about 30.3 million kilometers square, including adjacent islands. It covers 6% of Earth's total surface area and 20% of its land area. There are 54 countries in Africa today, according to the United Nations. They include Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, Mali, Ethiopia, and many others. Aside the numerous countries in Africa, let's talk about Ethiopia. Ethiopia, in the Horn of Africa, is a rugged landlocked country split by the Great Rift Valley, with archaeological finds dating back more than 3 million years. It's a place of ancient culture. Among its important sites are Lalibela, with its rock-cut Christian churches from the 12th to 13th century. Let's talk about the climate conditions in Ethiopia. Ethiopia's equatorial rainforests in the south and southwest are characterized by high rainfall and humidity, while the Afro-Alpine on the summits of the Semin and Baal Mountains and the northeast, east and southeast lowlands experiencing desert-like climate conditions in Ethiopia. And did you know the beginning of the Ethiopian calendar is based on the birth of Jesus Christ? Ethiopians use the incarnation era to indicate the year, which places the annunciation of the birth of Jesus on March 25th AD 9 in the Julian calendar. On the other hand, Europeans adopted a different calculations for the annunciation, which placed it 8 years earlier, meaning that there exists a gap of 8 years between the start of the Ethiopian calendar and the Georgian. Most of the major celebrated holidays, such as Christmas, occur on completely different days. So instead of December 25th, it is celebrated on January 7th, which is considered by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church as Jesus Christ's birthday. The Ethiopian flag was designed by Abebe Alam and has a proportion of 1:2. It was adopted on the 11th of October 1897. It has a horizontal tricolor of green, yellow, and red with the national emblem superimposed at the center. And now, let's study the A to Z life history of the Ethiopians. A, which represents the Aksum. This UNESCO city in northern Ethiopia was the original capital of the Kingdom of Aksum. The tallest being 24.6 meters high, weighing 1,760 tons. B, which represents the Baal Mountains. This stunning mountain ranges in the south of Ethiopia is one of the best places to see in the Ethiopian Wolf. Trust me, you love it. C, which represents coffee. Did you know Ethiopia grows some of the world's greatest coffee? Around 25% of the country's population rely either directly or indirectly in the industry. Interestingly, coffee still grows wild in Ethiopia's mountain forest. The letter D also represents the Danakil Depression, 100 meters below sea level, the arid area of lava-spitting volcanoes, multicolored springs, and salt plains was named the cruelest place on earth by National Geographic. And E, which stands for Emperor Haile Selassie, a defining figure in African history, the last emperor of Ethiopia, who ruled from 1930 until 1974, when he was overthrown by the Marxist dictator Magichu Haile Mariam. Haile Selassie traced his ancestry back to Menelik I, the child of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. Rastafarians regard Haile Selassie as the god of the black race. The lyrics to the Bob Marley song War are derived from a speech given by Haile Selassie to the United Nations in 1963. Letter G, which stands for Gibraltar Lodge, one of Ethiopia's best kept secrets and a firm favorite at wild frontiers. Letter H, which stands for the Hama tribe. This unique tribe lives in the fertile part of the Omo Valley in the southwest of Ethiopia. Letter I, which stands for Injera. The flatbread is the national dish of Ethiopia. It is often served with stew, where it is used to scoop up food with the right hand. It is eaten daily in pretty much every household in Ethiopia. Letter J, which stands for jazz. Ethiopia has an extremely diverse music scene. Letter J, which stands for jazz. Ethiopia has an extremely diverse music scene. Traditionally, Ethiopian music is based on 5 notes, but over 40 years ago, musician Mulatu Astaki began fusing the 5 notes with the 12 tones of jazz, and Ethio jazz was born. Today, this form of music is widely popular both abroad as well as in Addis Ababa's numerous jazz clubs. Stands for King Alpha Market. King Alpha is a small village in the southwest of Ethiopia, home to the Bana tribe. L, which stands for Lucy, one of Ethiopia's most famous residents. Lucy was discovered in 1974 in Ethiopia's Afar Depression. M, which stands for the mountains. The Simeon mountain range is one of Africa's largest, consisting of over a dozen peaks over 4,000 meters tall. N, which represents the nightlife. What often surprises visitors to Ethiopia most is the lively nightlife. O, which represents the Omo Valley. The remote Omo Valley is wild and little visited, and home to some of Ethiopia's most fascinating ethnic groups, such as the Bana, the Hama, the Mercy, and the Sama. The Mercy live in an isolated part of southwestern Ethiopia, in the Omo Valley. Letter P represents the people. Ethiopia has an incredible ethnic diversity, with over 83 languages being spoken and over 200 dialects. Letter Q, which stands for Queen of Sheba. Legend has it that the Ethiopian Queen of Sheba once journeyed to Israel to visit King Solomon. There, the king promised not to take anything from her as long as she didn't take anything from him. In return, Solomon got what he wanted, and the queen was soon on her way back to Ethiopia carrying his child, the future King Menelik. Menelik later visited his father in Israel, where he is said to have made off with the Ark of the Covenant, explaining its alleged location in Exodus. Letter R stands for the rock cut churches. Lalibela's rock-hewn churches are considered the finest early Christian architecture anywhere in the world, showing extraordinary skill in the use of line, proportion, and decorations. Letter S stands for the shoulder dancing. In the northern parts of Ethiopia, eskecha, meaning dancing shoulders, is practiced to a variety of war songs, love songs, hunting songs, and shepherd songs. Letter T, which stands for Timkat Festival, meaning baptism, the Ethiopian Orthodox celebration of Epiphany. During this colorful and noisy festival, a model of the Ark of the Covenant is paraded through the streets, and priests spray revelers with baptized holy water. U, which stands for the unusual calendar. Ethiopia continues to use the Julian calendar, dropped by the rest of the world in 1582. It consists of 13 months, 12 months of 30 days, and 1 of 5 days. Letter V represents the volcanoes. Erta Al volcano in the Danakil Depression area offers one of Ethiopia's most memorable experiences. Letter W represents wildlife. Ethiopia has a variety of unique wildlife, from the Gelada babu, a species of old world monkey, found in the highlands, to the Simian Fox. Letter X, which stands for extraordinary scenery in the country. Letter Y represents Yeha. The Temple of Yeha is the oldest standing structure in Ethiopia, dating back to the 7th century BC. The Bronze Age archaeological site shows evidence of contact. And finally, letter Z stands for the Zion Church. The Ethiopian Orthodox St. Mary's of Zion Church, situated in the Axum, is the country's most important church and claims to house the original Ark of the Covenant. Addis Ababa is the capital and largest city of Ethiopia. It is also served as major administrative center of the Oromia region. It is known to be the home to the headquarters of the African Union, the third largest United Nations population, and with representation from nearly every foreign embassy from around the world. Addis Ababa is often referred to as the political capital of Africa. It came into existence in 1886 as a mineral springs resort for Ethiopia's royal family and nobility. Thank you, lovely viewers, for staying glued to your TV as I presented to you about the Ethiopians as part of our weekly project. I am Winifred and a representative of the Miss Excellence Grand Ghana, and once again, I'm here to solicit for your help to keep me in this competition. Kindly use the short code *800*714#, and don't forget the nominee code is AP1. God bless you all. Bye.